In this week's lesson, we are going to talk about artist ancestors. So, I think something that is very underlooked in art is that artists enjoy other artists' artwork. And it's okay to look at several different artists' artwork and appreciate their style and use that and combine it to become your own style and to help you know what you like and what appeals to you. One of my favorite artists is Vincent Van Gogh. So I have taken and I have printed off a bunch of pictures from paintings of Vincent Van Gogh. The first time that I fell in love with Vincent Van Gogh's artwork is when I was in Amsterdam. I went to the Vincent Van Gogh Museum, and it's loaded just with breathtaking artwork. It's truly incredible how many pieces of artwork are in this museum, all of one artist. And I think that because they were all compiled together, it really told his life story, his very short life story. And this piece in particular has, I have never had a work of art touch me in that way. I was standing there or walking through the museum, and I came upon this piece, and just emotion, tears, my heart just swelled within me seeing this picture of his bedroom, which is really interesting. And I've thought about that experience since then. What about it stirred that emotion? And I think that just seeing this simple bedroom, pretty much all of this man's possessions in life, his paintings on the wall, his his couple of chairs, and I felt like it told Vincent Van Gogh's story. And just I felt all of it. I felt the loneliness, I felt the striving to become an artist. Everything that what I think he is came through in this piece when I saw it. And it was a really amazing experience to have with this picture. But not only with the picture, it was a really amazing experience because obviously Vincent Van Gogh has long since passed away, but to have some part of him speak through this piece and have that connection was really incredible. So when you come upon a piece of artwork that makes you pause, that sparks some kind of emotion inside, whether it's happiness or sadness or just overwhelming joy, or it doesn't even have to be like these extremely strong emotions either, just something, I want you to pay attention to that artist and keep a list of artists that you like. And then what you're going to do is hopefully you can get a picture of that artwork where Vincent Van Gogh's artwork is so prevalent. It's pretty easy to find his artwork and print it off. So now I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to paste it on my page, and I'm going to write some of the things that I love about Vincent Van Gogh's artwork. I love the brush strokes. that I can see the brush strokes. I love the thick, chunky paint. I love his color selection. Especially the light blue-green that he uses often. And I love, he uses this like golden ochre color with that light blue. Now, pay attention to his subject matter too. I like his landscapes a lot and his flowers a lot. But the thing that really struck me was the bedroom. So I would never think to paint a picture of my bedroom, but maybe that could inspire me to think and paint everyday life. So paying attention to how does he use the line, and he has a little bit of, he uses a little bit of black line in there, but he's not outlining. How does he use shape? I love that the way that he uses his brush stroke goes around objects, like a cross contour line. So paying attention to how he uses line, shape, color, texture. The texture that he has is this thick, chunky paint. All of those elements of art and the principles of design that we've learned. All right, instead of gluing it down to the page, I decided to glue it down to my note card, and then I'm gonna write these on the back just for a prompt card, because I like prompt cards better, but I might glue some of the smaller pictures on here for a little collection in my sketchbook. So now we're going to go ahead and tape a piece of paper down, and we are going to use all of these things and create a picture. Now, I am not against taking a work of art and studying it by drawing it and recreating it, as long as you always give the artist credit. But in this case, I want you to pick your own design composition and then create it in the style of that artist, because I think that you can learn a lot from both of those methods, but being able to create a piece of art and be able to call it your own, I prefer that rather than copying artwork. But I do think that there's lessons that you can learn by taking a picture and drawing from that picture and recreating it. I think that studying artists is okay to do like that, but it would never be okay to claim it as your own artwork or sell it as your own artwork. That would be plagiarism. So rather than doing that, we're gonna draw out our own imagery and then use these things to try to emulate what the artist did. And if you take and you did this with like 5 artists, 3 to 5 artists, and then you combine all of those things that you like, then you're going to get closer to coming up with artwork that is distinctly your own. All right, since I liked Van Gogh's bedroom scene, I decided to do my bedroom. So I drew it really quickly. Alright, so now I'm going to try to emulate the same style as Van Gogh. So I'm going to pour some paint here. And then I'm going to grab a paintbrush and try and do the same brush strokes and get the same texture. As I'm studying this piece one more time, I am noticing that he actually does kind of like to outline his objects, just not with black necessarily. Like this door, he's outlined in blue. So, but it looks like the outlines are drawn after the paint has been put down. So I'm gonna follow that and start painting here. I was gonna start with the outlines, but then as I looked a little closer, I noticed that. Okay, I have my paint poured here, and I have my picture sketched out, and now I'm going to start to fill in the space. As I'm looking at this, I'm paying attention to Van Gogh's brushstrokes, and they're actually really narrow and kind of long. So I'm going to change. I was trying to decide what kind of paintbrush to use here. So here we go. Now my floors are not wooden in my bedroom, so I'm not going to do that, but I have carpet in my bedroom. So I'm going to still use the style that he used, but with my own colors. So I'm kind of alternating between warm highlights and cool highlights here. And keeping that gray kind of that same. I'm not rinsing my brush in between these strokes though, because I want all of that color to get mixed up in this carpet. That's something that I liked about Van Gogh's artwork is his use of color. If you look between each stroke, especially when he did hay, I think it's the most evident is when you see his hay stacks and his the way that the hay bales move like they're blowing in the wind. But each stroke was just full of color. I'm wondering if he cleaned up his bedroom before he decided to sketch it, or if he just left out, the messy parts, or if he was meticulous and kept his bedroom clean, or if he just didn't have a lot of stuff to make a mess anyways. Is it unfair to not show the mess? Is it less historical or accurate? Maybe it tells less of the story, or maybe it leaves part of the story out that you don't want to reveal. We'll never know. I think it's really interesting that when we went to the Van Gogh Museum, I just fell in love with Van Gogh's artwork. But I find it really interesting how selective art is, because my parents were with us and I don't think that they loved his artwork, but I loved it. It just spoke to my heart. So it's interesting how we have different experiences Had to remind myself to do thicker brush strokes here. Start to paint like me. Forget I'm painting like Van Gogh, which is okay. But I'd rather paint like me than anybody else. A little Zen table over here with a sand thing and a salt lamp and a little Buddha guy and a bonsai tree all on this cute little table. That was kind of fun to do just from, I went up and I drew my bedroom, but then kind of filling in the details from my own memory. It was kind of fun to do. Now I'll leave you to wonder if my bedroom is really as clean as I just drew it.